Okay, where do I start? Welcome back. First and foremost, I am excited to be here. I have to get used to this YouTube thing because I haven't been on this channel for years. Like, I'm excited to be here. And I was like, let me make it easy for myself. Instead of like going and find my camera, going and find my whatever, like gear, this, let me just record from my camera on my iPhone. Like, let's do that. Let's not make it any more complicated than it is. I am here to actually just walk you through my journey. I just want to share like a life update with you all, what has been happening behind the scenes. I haven't done like a good proper conversation about like what has been happening and where I'm at right now, what I'm thinking of doing, and how I want you guys to kind of like tag along. So let's start from looking at 2 years ago. I think it was 2024. So I remember very vividly, like April 2024, I decided to quit my full-time job in tech. I was working as customer success at a very big global HR company, and I did it for five years, and those were some great 5 years. And the thing about me is, if you have been following me for a while, is that I've never bashed people that are working a 9 to 5, that like that negative kind of like, oh, if you're a 9 to 5 you suck, or if you're a 9 to 5 you like, what are you actually doing. Even when I was doing like my business full time, because I feel like working in tech has helped me learn so much. And I think it helped me to actually invest and build my business back then, to be able to get to a point where I had the flexibility, or I had the option to let go of my safety net and go for my online business, which was making similar to what I was making and some more. And but that comes from a place where you just need to have stability, right? And I will always encourage everyone not to jump into your online business right away, because it's not immediately going to Bali. It's not immediately like ordering cocktails that you want to order. It's not immediately, buying property investments from the get-go. Like, it's a lot of, I would say, first and foremost, is a lot of mindset, mind fuck, to have your business, because you'll be in a roller coaster. You have to have such a strong mindset that you have perseverance even through the tough times, even through days where you're not closing a deal, even through days where you were so convinced that this client was about to sign and it didn't fall through. Like, you have to be ruthless. It has been a very interesting journey, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm so happy that I did that for myself, because I've always wanted to be in a position where I can just like quit my job, go for the thing that I'm working on full time. And it came at the perfect timing, to be honest, because I had already worked 5 years at the company. At that time, I was starting to feel like, okay, what's next for me? And then this came along, and it was great because my kids were also so young. They were all under 5 years old. So I had the possibility to just stay at home, and just didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. I didn't have to commute. Like, I was just fully in charge of my day. I was fully doing the thing that I was dreaming about on doing, which was coaching, which was mentoring other female founders. And I did that for a good 2 years. So 24 months, I was doing it full time. But then things were starting to go kind of like downhill from there. Like, truthfully, I'm just going to be very transparent, because to be honest, I feel like more conversations like these need to happen online, because we're just seeing too many glitz and glam of starting online businesses, and right from the get-go, like, people hit six figures, but no one is actually sharing that maybe some of them had to go back to a job. Maybe some of them had to rebuild from scratch again. Maybe some of them just whatever it is, right? They build up debt or whatever it is. So I'm just going to be transparent here because I just hope that it helps anyone watching this right now. So where was I? And where was I? What was I saying? Then it kind of like went downhill. And when I say when it went downhill, I'm talking about two things. It went downhill when it comes to me, the being of Trudy, I would say. The mindset, the belief that I had, the confidence. I just at some moment I just kept questioning myself. I kept questioning myself if I could really do it, right? I was I was signing the clients. I was hitting the 10K month. Sometimes it would be 5K, sometimes it would be 8, sometimes it would be 10. So it did fluctuate a lot. Sometimes it would be 12, but income was coming in. But I then find myself to be in a state of mind where I was like, but but like I'm missing something here. I always felt like I was missing something. I was missing the golden nugget. Need to crack the code. So I was always on the lookout. Like I was always looking for the next strategy. I was always looking I was always looking and not paying attention to what was working well and how to refine it, right? I was refining it, but looking back, I spent more time looking for that golden nugget than really rolling up my sleeve and just like really going in and just assessing what was going well. And to be honest with you, that impacted my income so much because I felt like something within me was crushed whenever someone would, for example, come on a sales call and they didn't close. And I was like, okay, what am I missing? Some people have like 100% closing rate, which doesn't exist. I mean, contextually, you can say you have 100% closing rate if they're all warm, if all spoken them to them before. But if you're dealing with a cold audience, 100% closing rate barely exists. But that's a conversation for another time. I was basically just like always comparing myself. I would be on the lookout what my peers were doing. I would be on the lookout what the big gurus were doing. I would be on the lookout what the world was saying, like, oh, don't do sales calls anymore. Oh, do low ticket offers. No, do high ticket offers. No, you need to run webinars. No, webinars are dead. You need to do ads. No, don't do ads. You need to do this. Start group coaching because what are you doing why are you selling your one-on-one time? Your time is like very valuable. There was so much noise and I was like, oh my God, like I'm going not like literally I was just paralyzed, right? It came to a stage where because there was so much going on. Oh, don't do this, but do this, but don't do that. But you don't have a low ticket. Oh my God, DMs are dead. Don't approach people in the DM. Like I felt so stuck that at a certain point, I wasn't doing anything. Like I wasn't doing anything. Like I was just like, what am I doing? And it came to a time that I was even confused to like I was questioning myself as if I were a good coach. Even though I have the experience of building a business, even though I was making an income, even though I've helped other clients see success quit their jobs, even though I have a master's degree in marketing to back everything up, I still felt like, am I a con? I don't know. It was just like this imposter syndrome, an overly huge amount of imposter syndrome that kept me stuck. And I just froze. I wasn't doing much. Like I wasn't working on the business. Like the sales calls that I needed to have, I just didn't. The conversations that I needed to do, I wasn't doing it because I couldn't even handle rejection well. I took it so personal that I made it mean something about me. I made it mean something about my knowledge and whether I'm worthy of, making money from this. It goes really deep. And I'm happy that I'm even having this conversation today because I haven't had like a good sit down to like go through this. But that was basically what what was happening. Like I was just like it was a complete shit show. And obviously, when you are in that state of mind where you're always comparing, where you're always feeling like, no, you need a new thing, and then you would go into like I was also like in this group coaching, and then when that was done, I would be on the lookout for another mentor. Like I always also felt like I needed a coach all the time, right? Because I just felt like, yeah, that's what you do, right? You always have a coach in order to become successful. And quickly crumbled my business, to be honest. It went fast, right? It came to a point where I wasn't even signing clients anymore because I froze, because I let my mindset take over. I let comparison take control. I let shiny object syndrome take control because I felt like I I haven't cracked the code. I need the next nugget, right? So I was always on the lookout for the next nuggets, spending so much time, money on that next nugget that I wasn't pausing and sitting still, that I have a lot of data in front of me already because you are already signing clients, you're already making an income. Well, like what's working? What can you double down on? What can you improve? What can you refine? What do you need to let go? What can you outsource? What can you not outsource, right? So I was just like investing my time at the wrong places because I had that shiny object syndrome. I felt like I wanted to test new things, right? But then I froze because I felt like, okay, if I test new things and it doesn't work out, oh my God, like I cannot, like bills need to be paid. I'm not in a position where I can actually like be testing the waters and, lose money or whatever. So I had an idea, but I felt like I couldn't execute it because I felt like I wasn't it's not I felt I wasn't in a financial position to even test and try that, right? So there I was, just again, then being frozen because I felt like, but I don't want to do what I'm doing because it feels like very inconsistent. So I'm missing the golden nugget. What is the golden nugget? Very interesting, right? How the mind sometimes work, and it's very interesting to look back at it. I find myself to be in a situation where I had to go back to a 9 to 5. After me applying for gazillion jobs, the job market was also like, what the hell is happening, right? Because with all the experience that I have, girl, it wasn't easy to get the next job. I definitely wanted to work in tech. I've loved, like, as I said, like I had good experiences working in tech. I had good experience actually working in corporate. And I mean, everything has its advantages and disadvantages. And it depends on what type of role you have. Some don't like it at all, but I actually didn't have like bad experiences. I knew that if I'm going to look for a job, I wanted to work in tech because with tech, you can always just be on the front line of the new wave of new technology coming up, and like it can be super helpful for you if you also run your business on the side. So I always wanted to work in tech, and then I got a tech job at a very great company that I actually always wanted to work for, and I got in through a referral. So right now I'm working in tech for also one of the biggest CRM companies. And I'm running my business now on the side of it. And this is really, again, a new season for me because coming from a 2 years where I was running, like doing my online business full time, to now dedicating my time to a 9 to 5, and then having my online business next to it, and also being a working parent of kids that are 3 and 5, it puts you in a position where you have to regroup. You have to, like, okay, wait, let's pause for a second. How do I manage my time again? Like what is important, what is not important, when am I working on my business, and what am I doing? Like what are some of the activities that are going to move the needle? So I'm actually back in the position again as, like, 4 years ago when I started this business. I was doing this next to my 9 to 5 job. And to be honest, I wouldn't have had it any other way. Like, I think maybe I would be one of the few online that would say that for now, in this season that I'm in, and I think it depends on the season where you're in right now. Like, everyone goes through seasons of life. And if I look at my season, this season that I'm in right now, this is the perfect setup for me, having a 9 to 5 that really excites me because I find the product to be like very interesting. So there's a huge interest already in what I'm helping people with at my 9 to 5. So I feel like I'm learning a lot. AI is also like a huge conversation in the tech industry, and I'm learning so much about how AI is growing, and what is like what it could be, and what significance it is making for business owners. Like, I'm in the front line of it, and then I can also pour my energy and time into building my personal brand online, talking about the topics that I enjoy to talk about most, which is branding, which is, messaging, which is positioning, all things marketing. Basically, I'm a marketing girly, right? Like, I have my degree in marketing. I've always been so interested in marketing. I've I've always been in marketing, even with my side hustles. They've always like been like, marketing has always been the center of it. It's just like now I'm back with a different angle where I'm not necessarily like teaching from a place of being a coach or a mentor, but more so about like someone who has the expertise, all right, who has had the experiences, but I'm just letting you in. Like, I'm just taking you guys along, and just like, while I'm also just like learning new things and absorbing new things on top of what I know. Like, I find it very interesting to, bring everyone on board, and just like also just be human, also just be real. I feel like online there's a lot of like, showing just the great things that comes with running an online business and stuff. And it's great. Like, I've seen both sides, doing it next to a 9 to 5, and then also like doing it full time. And they both come with advantages, and it's just about the season that you're in. You have to decide, like, what is the season that I'm in, and how do I see that season. And for me, it's like combining the two. And the reason why I'm so happy that I'm in this season is that everything feels light in my business. Like, it doesn't feel like an obligation anymore, because it's not the thing that I'm necessarily like um relying on to like keep the lights on or whatever. Like, I can just test, I can try, I can just like, I can experiment. And that's the beauty of how I was even able to grow my business, Digital Dreamers Hub, because I was having fun with it 4 years ago. And then I came to a place where the fun was just like gone. There was no fun. It was like strictly business. And yeah, of course, if you're doing it full time, yeah, it's strictly business. But it was just like, I even lost my why, right? Because I was just focusing on the next deal needed to be closed. It came to a time where it wasn't necessarily all just about, helping that person in front of me, like succeed. Obviously, that like I'm not saying that I didn't care for people that were in front of me or that I would just like take their money and run. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But what I was saying that I was also putting so much more emphasis on the fact that this deal needed to close, right? Because I also had bills to pay. Whereas in the beginning, like whether it closed or not was like, yeah, that's fine. We move on. Like I didn't lose sleep at all, like at all, if a deal would close or not. And then I found in a position that I was just like I would get like sometimes I was just like get upset. Like when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God. But like I'm just being real. Like I hope it's helping someone today, but I would just like get upset. Like there were times with some prospect, like I would cry because I felt like they they took my time for granted. Like I would spend hours with them. I would maybe have like an hour sales call, and then I would do this and I would do that, and I felt like used in a way. Like I felt so used. I felt like someone like chew me up and like spit me out again. Like that's sometimes how I felt. I felt like it was so unfair, and I felt like disgusted, and I even felt like a sense of resentment during some time. I'm like, no one is getting my time again. Like I've gone through the ups and downs when it comes to emotions. But no, I'm now at the place where I'm like, just tag along. Like I'm learning as well. Yes, I have expertise. Yes, I'm here to share things that I'm seeing as a, on a as someone who's on the front row of what is happening in tech. I'm ready to share it all with you. I'm ready to share how I'm doing it as a mom, rebuilding my business next to my 9 to 5 in tech. Like I'm just like sharing it, and not from like, oh, I am the expert, but more so like I've been doing a thing or two, or I'm in the middle of doing this. Like tag along and see if any of this will help you. And it feels so freeing. It feels calm. It feels good. And it feels like, oh my God, Trudy has a white canvas and can start painting again. And then we'll see where it goes. The season feels good. The way that it's set up feels good. Um, is it at times overwhelming? Of course, right? Because managing your time when you are a mom and you have a 9 to 5er, it's 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 different. Like you need to be, your discipline needs to be for your online business also, to make that work, to show up, to create the content, to send out those emails, to create your offer, to sell your offer, you name it, right? So your discipline needs to be high, but I've done it before. Like it's nothing new. I've done it before. I know how it works, and I'm just excited for this season because there's just no pressure. Like I was finding it difficult to come online to share this because some part of me felt like I failed, right? Some part of me felt like I failed. How can I share this? How can I, you know, how can I share this? You've made like 100K just by selling your knowledge basically, and how do you share that, like you're going back to a 9 to 5? And there was just like this huge, oh my God, like I can't deal with this. So I was even like, it came to a while, like I was just like still showing up online, but it felt so off because it wasn't meeting my identity anymore. Like it was like, oh my God, but I'm applying for jobs. What am I talking about? Like signing clients and stuff. Like shut up. And then I remember I made the post. I don't know. I think I made it in my birthday month in April. I was like, I'm just gonna let people in. This is what's happening. I went back to a 9 to 5. And my God, I felt like there was just like this sense of, and from there on, posting content felt easy. Posting content felt fun. For posting content felt like, and because I'm just like living in my truth. And before that, I was just like, I was just keeping up a front for no reason. Meanwhile, your reality has changed. Like, share that, right? You might help someone. And that's what I did since April. And it has, like, I felt like I've been feeling so, it's just like, yes, I can share more of truthfully what's going on, truthfully what I'm learning in the moment. So yeah, that's a little bit like, that's been a huge life update there. But I want to share this with all of you. And next week, I want to share something with you guys as well and see what you guys think of it. But yeah, I kept it simple. I was just like, let me press record on my phone and let me come on here to share with all of you, like, what has been going for the past, I would say 6 to 8 months or 6 to 10 months. And we're here, we're excited. For those that are still here, thanks for being here. Thanks for tagging along. Thanks for, the likes. Thanks for everything. Thanks for, yeah, this community. Like, put it in the comments if this journey of mine, if you relate to it some way, in some way or form, if this story time was helpful, just leave it in a comment. I would love for us to have a conversation. I would love to read your journey as well. I think we can all like inspire one another. So I would love to hear from you, and I would catch you guys in the next video.